Hello, I'm Ellie Gonzalez, and this is my Production Possibilities Frontier Week 3 video. So my two goods are hot dogs and paper planes, and the resource is my time, so my labor. And in this first table and graph, it's measured in minutes, but it's totaling 1 hour of my labor time. This first table is just a detailed breakdown of the time and the production of either good. And this smaller table, which if I click the first graph, is just the guts from the first table that are used to make the graph. So, in this first graph, you can see the y-intercept, the maximum amount of paper airplanes I can make in an hour if I spend all of my time and resources just making paper planes is 45. Whereas on the x-intercept, you can see the maximum amount of hot dogs I can make if I spend all of my time and resources just making hot dogs are 12 hot dogs in an hour. And then the other points are just different production possibilities, and any point on this line is going to be possible and efficient at the current level of production. Anything to the left or under the curve over here in this area is going to be inefficient but possible. So I could make any combination of the goods with the resources I have, but it's not going to be an efficient use of those resources because I can produce at this level of the line over here. Whereas anything to the right of that curve is going to be impossible at the current level of production. Given the current technologies that I have, I cannot produce anywhere to the right of that first line. Now the second set of tables down here correlate to these two graphs. And in this first graph, it's showing the production possibilities in an 8-hour workday. So now my time, my labor hours, which is my resource, is broken up from 8 hours, 6 hours, 4 hours, 2 hours, 0 hours, and the opposite for paper planes. And now in an 8-hour day, if you look at the x-intercept of this first graph, I can make a maximum of 96 hot dogs if I spend all of my time and resources just making hot dogs. Whereas on the y-axis, you can see the y-intercept represents the maximum amount of paper airplanes I could make if I spent all of my time and resources just making paper planes, which gives me a maximum of 360. This graph over here, this blue line is showing the same information that's from this first graph. So the same production possibilities are on this graph as well. Maximum amount of hot dogs I can make in 8 hours, 96. Maximum amount of paper planes I can make in 8 hours, 360. And all the different production possibilities in between. This red line represents a shift to the right. And the shift to the right is caused by a technological improvement. And that technological improvement is affecting the amount of hot dogs I can make in that 8-hour day. And the improvement is a bigger skillet, which allows me to make more hot dogs at a time. So the new x-intercept for this point is going to show the maximum amount of hot dogs I can make in 8 hours if I spent all of my time and resources making just hot dogs, which is now 192 hot dogs in that 8-hour time span. But you can see the y-intercept still shows a maximum of 360 paper planes because the improvement has only affected the amount of hot dogs I can produce. It has not changed the amount of paper planes I can produce, so all of those data points are still going to be the same as this first graph relating to the amount of paper planes produced at a different time.